Namo Amitofo. Buddha Recitation Needs Blessing. Namo Amitofo. Hello, Lotus friends. Shakyamuni Buddha indicates in the Infinite Life Sutra that if one does not have good roots, one would not be able to hear the Dharma path of Amitabha recitation in the Infinite Life Sutra. Also, those who are able to believe in the Dharma path of Amitabha recitation have met Shakyamuni Buddha and all other Buddhas. The virtues of making offerings to the boundless Ganges sands of Buddhas enable us to encounter the Dharma path of Amitabha recitation and have faith in the Dharma path of Amitabha recitation. So in a different translated version of the Equal Enlightenment Sutra, Shakyamuni Buddha again says that if a person hears others preaching, the Dharma path of Amitabha recitation, but hears as if hasn't heard it, which means that he does hear it, but it seems he never hear it. He sees as if he hasn't seen it, which means he does see it, but it seems he never see it. This person was from the three wretched realms. Because of the sin barrier, which has not been removed, it's not possible to have faith. So if there is a person, he hears the Dharma path of Amitabha recitation with a mixture of happiness and sorrow, then this person in his past lives heard and even practiced the Dharma path of Amitabha recitation. But in his past lives, the practice of Buddha recitation might have been destroyed. He did not persevere on the path of Buddha recitation exclusively. What about today? He heard it all over again, with joy and even sadness. So in this life, if it is possible to recite the Buddha's name single-mindedly and exclusively, then he must be reborn. That's why Master Kuji said that if there is no virtuous karma of past lives, then you will not hear this name in this life. But now you can hear the Pure Land Dharma door and are able to recite the Buddha's name exclusively. It's all the virtuous karma from the past lives. So we mortals, being able to hear Buddha's teachings, the teachings we hear, and the heart we have faith in, are all from Amitabha Buddhas. Well, in kalpas of parenting, just like the power of the sun, which enables us to see things with our eyes. We mortals can have eyes and eyeballs because of the merit of sunlight too. Like fish in the deep sea and in the caves, they don't have eyes because there's no sunlight. So we can see things because of the merits of the sun, not our own power. We can have faith in Amitabha, which is also Amitabha's Longkalpa of continually embracing us and educating us. Let our good roots be able to mature quickly. So if you don't have virtuous karma of past lives, you can't recite his name. Let's tell 3 stories to help you understand. One day, Master Yingguang and another Dharma master they walked from the west gate towards the direction of Yuanguang Temple. At this time, they ran into a beggar who was begging for food. This beggar was about 15 or 16 years old. He didn't seem hungry, but kept following behind, asking the masters for money. Then Master Yingguang said to him, "If you recite Namo Amitofo once, I'll give you a penny." Among the ancient patriarchs and many Dharma masters, like Master Shao Kang, he used money this way to rescue the child by asking the child to recite Amitofo's name once and he would give him a penny. Master Yingguang did the same thing. But this child who was begging for food just wouldn't recite it. So this time Master Yingguang said again, "You recite Namo Amitofo for 10 times. I'll give you 10 pennies." He still wouldn't do it. Then Master Yingguang simply took out the money bag and showed it to him. He counted it. It was about 400 pennies. And Master Yingguang said to him, "You recite Amitabha's name once, I'll give you a penny. You can recite all you want. I'll pay for your recitation until all my money is gone." But the beggar boy was still indifferent. He determined not to recite. Looking at a bag of money, he couldn't recite the Buddha's name even once. So he couldn't get the money. Then he resented it and cried out in the street. So Master Yingguang looked up to the sky and sighed, gave him a penny, shook his head and left. Like when we used to persuade others to recite the Buddha's name, no matter how hard we persuade, this person just doesn't recite the Buddha's name. Sometimes I just wonder, you recite the Buddha's name once, you have nothing to lose, and you don't need to spend a penny. This is a good deal. Why can't you recite the Buddha's name once? It's because this person doesn't have such virtuous karma of past lives, and doesn't have blessing. And in the Dharma Master Yingguang's collected writings, there are many similar stories recorded. For example, in the Qing Dynasty, Wu Yunzi, the 3rd place in civil examination winner, visited Master Yingguang. He said he was a monk in Yunnan in a previous life. When he was 26 years old, he had a dream. He dreamt that he went to a monastery in Yunnan. Every brick and tile, every blade of grass and tree was very familiar to him. He also knew that he was a monk of this monastery. After waking up, he recorded the details of this dream. Then later, one of his friends would serve in Yunnan province. So he asked his friend to follow his records to look for the monastery. And without surprise, his friend found the monastery. And it was exactly as he had seen it in his dream. because in his previous life, he cultivated bliss and wisdom in the Buddhist school. So in this life, he became a third-place winner in the civil examination and enjoyed the glory and wealth of the world. So Master Lianqi once said that, as he observed, many of those who are blessed in this world, wealthy and prosperous, people served as government officials, were great practitioners in their past lives. But the blessings of the practices in the past lives were transformed into the enjoyment of this life. Some, on the contrary, did not study or believe in Buddhism and even slandered the Buddha. There were many of them. So Master Lianqi expressed his regret. What about Master Yinguang? He also expressed his regret. So Master Yinguang advised Wu, "You're 80 years old. The days ahead are numbered. You should be reciting the Buddha's name single-mindedly and seeking rebirth in the West. In this way you can live up to the fact that you were a monk in your former life, in which you practiced diligently." However, Wu Yinzi listened and laughed out loud. He said, "I think you are a world-famous monk who must have the power of a lion's roar. When you preach the Buddha Dharma, heavenly maidens scatter flowers, and the stone nods its head. But unexpectedly I was advised just to recite the Buddha's name. In my opinion, what's so unusual about reciting the Buddha's name? So many people are overly ambitious." Then Master Yinguang said, "The least unusual thing in the world is to eat. But there's not a single person in the world who doesn't eat. Please, Mr. Wu, think about it. Of all these most unusual things, why do you have to do it every day?" Wu Yinzi was dumbfounded by the question, but in his heart he was still not convinced by just reciting the Buddha's name. Not long afterwards, on the night of the 30th day of the 12th lunar month of that year, Wu Yinzi died at the age of 80. So even if he was a cultivator in his past life, he was not blessed to receive such blessings. To just recite the Buddha's name once, like Jin Hu, a great practitioner in his past life, was known to everyone. He framed Yue Fei. He was a great evildoer in history. But in his previous life, he was an eminent monk of Mount Yangdang. Logically speaking, he should have been a great cultivator, but up to this lifetime, the level of attainment he gained in his previous life brought forth the great blessings for this life. He had a lot of wealth and a high-rank official position, but he also did a lot of evils. At this time, the Earth Store Bodhisattva tried to save him by not allowing him to continually do evil actions, so he would not fall into hell in the future. Then Earth Store Bodhisattva turned into a monk and talked to Qinhui. "You cannot do this kind of evil activities anymore. You should recite the Buddha's name and learn Dharma so that you won't suffer in the future." So at this time, if Qinhui said the word Buddha right then, he would have been spared the suffering of hell. But Qinhui said, I'm not going to recite it. So if he said, "I'm not going to recite the Buddha's name," or "I'm not going to recite the Buddha's name with you," at least he said the word Buddha. But finally he didn't say. Then the Earth Store Bodhisattva was anxious. He thought to himself, "I will always find a way to make you recite the Buddha's name." He then tapped Qinhui's leg with a horsetail whisk to make him kneel down. Then Arista Bodhisattva wrote the word Buddha on his hand and asked Chinhui, "What is this word?" If we see it, we'll say it's the word Buddha, who doesn't recognize. But Chinhui was particularly stubborn. He wouldn't say the word Buddha. Instead, he launched into an tirade about how old he got in the 4th place in the imperial examination, how old he became a champion, what kind of official he was now. And he corrected all the exams for the imperial examinations. And you ask me, what is this word? Don't you belittle me? So he talked a lot, but he just didn't want to recite the word Buddha. So the Arista Bodhisattva shook his head, sighed, and left. Look at Chinhui. Before he was the hall attendant of Arista Bodhisattva Hall at Mount Yandegang. That's why the Arista Bodhisattva came to persuade him to recite the Buddha's name, but he didn't have this blessing. He couldn't even say the word Buddha. Ancient patriarchs said, though the rain be plentiful, if water is not the rootless blades of grass, although the compassion of the Buddha is vast, it's hard to save those who have no faith. In other words, the heaven is sending rain, which generally nourishes all the flowers and trees of them. But if this tree, or this one blade of grass, is rootless, can it be nourished by the rain? No, it can't. The same as Amitabha is compassionate and equal to all living beings without discrimination. But if a person does not have this blessing and conditions to learn Dharma and recites Buddha's name, then there's no way to rescue him. Venerable Honen said, though it shines everywhere, the light of the moon registers only in the minds of those who look up. Buddha's mercy, though no one is not rescued, only with the Buddha's reciters. Ancient patriarch also said that the moon does not reflect its water with a lid. Without virtuous karma of past lives, one cannot believe in Amitabha's salvation. Like the beggar boy, Wu Yinzi and Chinhui. They couldn't even recite the Buddha's name once. So the Amitabha Sutra says, one cannot attain birth in that land with few virtuous roots and meritorious places like causal conditions, able to encounter Nama Amitabha and hold this name requires a lot of good roots, blessings, virtues, and causal connections. So this life, you can't do anything, but you can recite the Buddha's name. Your life is worth 100%. You can do everything you want in this life, but you just don't recite the Buddha's name. Your life is worth 0%. We practitioners of the Buddha Recitation have such joyful faith. Namo Amitabha. Namo Amitabha Buddha.